Alright, hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to this news video. I am the engineer, and the topics we're covering today are as follows. Aptera has a VIN. Aptera has power windows. Alternate Investment Summit. Tesla Model Q. Nissan drivers can use the Tesla network. EV batteries may last longer than anticipated. 2 PIs? And things I liked. Let's get started. So, Steve Fambro posted a post that was a little bit confusing as to, which vehicle was which when it came to the PI builds. So he went ahead and clarified, and the clarification is wonderful because now we have the code names for the PI vehicles that Aptera is putting together. We have PI2, which is named Mercury, PI3, which is Gemini, and PI4, which is Apollo. You may remember these names in history class from the lunar landers and whatnot from the Apollo program. So we got names from NASA happening on the Aptera vehicles. I think it's really cool and really fun because it looks like a spaceship anyway. But here we go. We now know the names of the PI vehicles, and 2 of said PI vehicles will be at CES. PI4 has a serial number, which you can see here. Aptera Owners Club did a fantastic video explaining the reason why each number is there. So I will go ahead and post that video in my description so you can check it out and get a full-on situation with that. I could explain that stuff, but I feel like if there's somebody who has a better source or has already explained it, I want to defer to them so that you guys know where to go to find that information as succinctly as possible. So you'll notice that there should be a link here. I cannot find that link. For some reason, my computer hates me, and so I will put that link in the description later on, but essentially, Aptera has power windows. They had a video showing that the windows went up and down. I do believe that that was a, an Instagram story. So I might not be able to find the link depending on the situation, but yeah. So that exists. Aptera has power windows. It's really awesome. Glad to see that that is a thing. Now, you'll see again that there is a Google screen here for a search bar. This time it is because the picture that I will have for this particular story will come in post. So, editor me, please put in the picture that I had of Chris McCammon. He had a quick story about how they were at an investment summit. It had the location and all that kind of stuff in there. It was really cool. So I have a picture of that. I'm going to put that in the on the screen here somewhere, over here or over there. I can't remember which side I default to, but it's going to be here in the screen right now. All right. But yeah, just to kind of put that in perspective, he is meeting with a bunch of really important, really fancy folks in order to kind of get that investment for production going. I feel like any meeting that they're having with really influential or really important investors is a good idea, and this is just a great example of that. Alright, so this story has been making rounds and people have been making videos about it, so here is my take on this whole Model Q situation. Model Q is probably a Chinese vehicle. Drive the Lightning mentioned this as well. If the vehicle exists, it is probably not going to come to the US anytime soon, mostly because Elon has said something to the effect of he's not planning on bringing something like that here because he's focused on robotaxi. So long story short, I'm thinking that that is the case. If he was not telling the truth about that, it is because he doesn't want to hamstring the sales of like the Model 3 and whatnot. So it is possible that he was not telling the truth in the interest of making sales happen. It doesn't seem like that is the case because of where it's being manufactured, the network that reported it, the strong possibility that that could have an effect on Tesla sales. I don't think that that's something that they would have wanted to get out, and they would not have been happy about it getting out because they're trying to, make sure that they are a solvent car company. So my knee-jerk reaction here is that Model Q is probably going to be a Chinese-only vehicle, and if it is not a Chinese-only vehicle, it'll be a China and Europe-only vehicle. So yeah, it's interesting. I would love to see it. I would love to drive it. If it exists, we cannot confirm that it exists yet, but if it does exist, I would like to drive it and see it. So I mean, I hope it exists, but yeah, a $25,000 Tesla does sound like a really cool value proposition. So, I'm hoping it's real. It is likely that it is not coming here if it is. So if you are a person who drives a Nissan, then you are in luck, because now you have access, a Nissan electric vehicle. You now have access to the Tesla network. 17,800 Tesla superchargers now allow you to charge at their station. So yeah, good times. Congratulations, Nissan. This group of automakers that has access to the Tesla network is only increasing and will continue to increase in the future. So yeah, good times there. Congratulations, Nissan. All 30 of your folks that own electric vehicles or your newer electric vehicles, the Arias and whatnot, will enjoy that 17,800 charger boon. So good times. So a Stanford report says that essentially the EV batteries that we are building now are projected to last about 40% longer than we expected, which is great because that means that there is more time to make a battery useful before you have to recycle it or cycle it through the end of life, and which also is recycling. So yeah, it's great that this is the case. The implications of such I will kind of go over here in this article. Alright, so this story says that the batteries of electric vehicles used by everyday people in heavy traffic, long road trips, and short city trips and all that kind of stuff could last about a third longer than researchers have generally forecast, according to a new study by scientists working at the SLAC Stanford Battery Center, a joint center between Stanford University's Precourt Institute for Energy and SALC National Accelerator Laboratory. Essentially, the typical EV may not need to be replaced, or the typical EV battery may not need to be replaced for an additional several years. That's great for longevity. That's great for the consumer. That just means that the electric vehicle just has more value to add and a longer time to mitigate your gas costs before you have to get another EV or replace the battery. So the reason for this discrepancy is kind of obvious when you think about it, but it's always more obvious in hindsight. Almost always, battery scientists and engineers test the cycle lives of new battery designs in laboratories, basically using a constant rate of charge and discharge. But generally speaking, people don't constantly charge and discharge the battery. It's in cycles. It is faster or slower depending on how fast you're traveling down the road, or whether or not you're charging rapidly, or that kind of stuff. All of these factors play into it, and apparently the way that they were testing was inadequate to address how batteries are actually used by the average everyday owner of an EV. So based on average everyday use, EV batteries last longer because battery testing in laboratories is very meticulous and measured and consistent. Most people that I know in my life are not any of those things because life is messy and all that kind of stuff. So it makes sense that in the long run that this would be the case, that batteries last longer than what people in laboratories could test for. So this is great news for people that have EVs or that are planning on buying EVs. Essentially, you will get to have much longer longevity. Alright, so I frequent the Reddits, and there was this post put up by a gentleman, Iran RPCV, He basically says that Aptera concluded the ambassador's webinar that was focused on CES that's coming up in a little while. Previously in the video I mentioned that there were going to be 2 vehicles at CES. The reason why I knew that was because this gentleman shared this information, or lady shared this information. There will be 2 PE models, one giving rides to journalists, and this is likely to be one of the most exciting displays at the show this year. I hope that many of you can go. Yeah, I'm going to be going. I'm still super jazzed about that. I'm really surprised that I'm actually able to go, but yeah, I will be there. I will attempt to get a ride in the PE vehicle. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, man. So it's good to know that there's going to be a display one, and then there's going to be one for people to ride in, because that would mean that there won't be any downtime between people being able to see and experience Aptera and people being able to ride in Aptera as a result of them just having to cycle one vehicle back and forth. So yeah, CES is exciting, man. I can hardly wait. Alright, now for the first thing that I like today. Ben Sullins is a guy who I've been following for quite some time because he does a great job of dismantling FUD. He does so by using facts and data, which is always a bonus to me. This particular video is about this gentleman who made a video that was very long and filled with basically every type of misinformation that we have seen in electric vehicle haters so far. He breaks down why each argument is silly and gives facts and data about this kind of stuff. I cannot recommend this guy more. If you enjoy watching content that helps you understand the mindset of those helps you understand the mindset of those who happen to have an aversion to electric vehicles, this is your guy. The second thing that I liked today was a video by Drive the Lightning. They talk about whether or not Aptera can survive in the landscape of a Model Q existing. He came to the same conclusion that I did, that Aptera could definitely survive in that world, mostly because there's a lot of people on this planet. In my opinion, the reason why this is the case is there's a lot of people on this planet, and there's a lot of people that have different interests and different needs, and so Aptera will fit some of those people, and the Model Q, if it ever comes out, will supplement the rest. So essentially, I am always thoroughly impressed by the Drive the Lightning team and what they do. Yeah, guys, keep it up, and great video. Alright, last thing that I liked today was a video that I was expecting to deeply disagree with, and I kind of came around toward the end of this video here. I could see where some kind of partnership with Aptera could be beneficial to Lucid and to Aptera. So if they did start talking about this and they announced some kind of partnership, like, I don't know, maybe Lucid having giving the drivetrains to Aptera, and Aptera outsourcing the solar technology to them and letting them put it on their vehicle, I could see that being a thing. I think it would be interesting, and I think it would be beneficial to both companies. So, like, I was not expecting to have this. Like, when I went into this video, I was in my head, I was like, oh no, what is happening? And I clicked it out of panic, and it was a good video. Like, I can't deny that it would be an interesting proposition. So yeah, I don't know if I'd want to see it happen, but I do want to think about the possibilities of such an interesting endeavor. So, you know, I like the way that this particular video went. I like how the logic was very consistent and concise and sensical. I like sensible logic. Go figure. Anyway, yeah, that will be about it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am the Ninjaneer. Please do all of the YouTube-y things. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys have been doing a great job with the commenting and subscribing situation. I am almost mid 600s now. The last time I talked about my subscriber count, I was like 500 2-ish months ago. Long story short, my channel is growing consistently, and I thank you guys for that. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, because yeah, I am really trying to get to the point where I am capable of producing content on a regular basis that is higher quality and things like that. You might have noticed a few different transitions and stuff that I put into this video that I hadn't put in before. I am constantly learning and growing in this field, and I believe that the more subscribers I have, the faster I can grow in that regard, making more quality content and things like that. So thank you guys so much for what you've done so far. I am so grateful and thankful that everybody is here and listening and watching and learning more about the EV world and able to click links. Just all of it is awesome, and thank you guys so much. So yeah, catch you guys next time and have a great rest of your day.